Welcome, welcome to a journey of stillness, memory, and sleep. Tonight, I invite you to walk with me, slowly, gently, through a place of ancient beauty, hidden deep in the heart of old Beijing. A place once reserved for emperors and nobles, closed to the world for centuries. A place of gold roofs, silent corridors, painted dragons, and secrets whispered only by the wind. This is the Forbidden City, a palace so vast and sacred, it was said to be at the very center of the cosmos. For nearly 500 years, it held the dreams and decisions of an entire empire. And though the rulers are long gone, their presence lingers in the stones, in the shadows, in the soft glow of lanterns that once lit the path to power. But tonight, it is not a place of power. It is a place of peace. As night descends upon the city, the courtyards grow still, the wind hushes its breath, and the moon casts a silver veil over marble steps and quiet gardens. The world outside fades, and inside these walls, something timeless begins to stir. Close your eyes if you wish. Breathe deeply. Let the pace of the modern world fall away like a robe at the foot of a silken bed. Let your body sink. Let your mind slow. You are safe here, held by history, watched over by centuries of calm. As we wander through the echoing halls, the imperial chambers, and the moonlit gardens, I'll tell you the stories that lie just beneath the surface, of emperors and empresses, of rituals and poetry, of stillness and legacy. This is not a history lesson. This is a dream written in wood and stone, in wind and water, in breath and silence. So come, let us step beyond the gates. Let us walk slowly into the night and into the Forbidden City. Have you ever imagined walking through the gates of an ancient palace under the hush of twilight? The air cool and still, touched with the scent of pine and incense. Tonight, we begin a journey, a quiet walk into the very heart of China's imperial soul. Let us step slowly, softly, into the Forbidden City. In the center of Beijing, surrounded by centuries of change and bustle, lies a world sealed in time, a city of stone, wood, and golden rooftops. The Forbidden City. For nearly 500 years, it was the home of emperors, the throne of dynasties, and the heart of a civilization that reached out in ripples across an entire empire. Built between 1406 and 1420, under the mighty hand of the Yongle Emperor of the Ming Dynasty, the Forbidden City was more than just a palace. It was the center of the universe, or so it was believed. Every corridor, every courtyard, every hall was built with celestial harmony in mind. Its layout was no accident. It followed strict principles of feng shui, symmetry, and divine order. Tonight, however, all that grandeur lies still. The stone paths are cool under the rising moon. The wooden gates are closed, the echoes of court ceremonies long since faded. And yet there are whispers in the walls. Let's listen closely. We begin at the southern edge, at the great entrance called the Meridian Gate, or Woman. By day, it was the site of announcements, of decree readings, and the gathering of nobles in anticipation of audience. But now, beneath the pale moonlight, it slumbers. The gate looms with its 5 arches and imposing presence. You can almost hear the footsteps of imperial guards pacing across its upper terraces. The scent of old lacquer and sun-warmed wood lingers in the cool night air. As we pass through the central arch, once reserved only for the emperor, we enter a space rarely seen by commoners, even in its prime. Here, history does not shout. It whispers. Ahead of us is the golden water river, winding through the courtyard like a delicate ribbon. Its arched stone bridges, 5 of them, mirroring the 5 virtues, reflect softly in the moonlight. The water, quiet and undisturbed, holds stories in its depth. Stories of rituals performed under the open sky, of ministers bowing before their ruler, of summer evenings when lanterns floated like fireflies across the surface. Take a moment here. Let the stillness of the water calm your thoughts. Let your breathing slow to the rhythm of ancient time. The Forbidden City invites no haste. Its walls have seen the rise and fall of emperors, the changing of dynasties, and the silent march of centuries. And yet, here it stands, patient, eternal. We now approach the grand axis, the central line upon which the most sacred halls are aligned. Before us rises the Hall of Supreme Harmony, the Tyhedian. This is the heart of the city, the largest and most magnificent of all the halls. By day, it witnessed coronations, birthdays, and imperial weddings. Great processions once filled its courtyards. Dragons and phoenixes adorned the rooftops, and golden bells chimed softly in the wind. But at night, it stands silent. We climb the broad white marble steps slowly, each step a breath deeper into the past. The wind plays gently with the wind chimes under the eaves, their song soft as silk. Inside the hall, the throne awaits in stillness, a golden seat beneath a carved canopy, surrounded by incense burners, jade screens, and coiling dragons. Empty now, but not forgotten. The aura of authority lingers. The sense that history was shaped right here, beneath beams painted with celestial emblems. We pause. Inhale. The air is cool, touched with the scent of age-old sandalwood and imperial incense. The Forbidden City was not only a palace, it was a cosmos in miniature. Every structure, every corridor, followed the balance of yin and yang, masculine and feminine, sun and shadow, order and spontaneity. As we walk deeper, we begin to see how the design flows. The outer court, bold, open, ceremonial, represents yang, the realm of action and duty. Here, emperors met with officials and oversaw the business of empire. The inner court, smaller, more private, lush with gardens and pavilions. It embodies yin, the feminine, the hidden. It is here that the emperor truly lived. Here that his family dwelled. Here that dreams were dreamt under moonlight and silk curtains. We drift now from the grandeur of the outer halls toward the quiet mystery of the inner court. The emperor's residence, the hall of mental cultivation, awaits quietly in the northwest quadrant. Humble in scale compared to the grand halls, but heavy with presence. For generations, Qing emperors lived here, read here, and held whispered meetings behind screens of carved wood. Imagine entering the room. The furniture is sparse but exquisite, carved Zaitan wood, golden scroll racks, soft rugs underfoot. The faint scent of old paper and ink lingers. Here, thoughts turned into edicts. Here, the fate of provinces was decided with a single brushstroke. The emperor might once have sat here, dressed in deep blue silk robes, sipping tea as he read the memorials to the throne, tiny letters from governors across the vast empire. Now only silence remains. Yet you feel it, the weight of thought, the echo of decisions, the hush of midnight wisdom. We exit into the imperial garden, stepping onto smooth stone paths beneath ancient cypress trees. The night air is cool, fragrant, Carried on the breeze are the mingled scents of peony blossoms, lotus ponds, and the resin of old pine trunks. This was a place of leisure, of reflection. The empress might have wandered here under the moon, or the emperor might have composed poems among the rocks and winding pavilions. Lanterns once glowed beside stone dragons and moon gates. Now the only light is from the sky, silver and diffuse, casting long shadows that dance with the swaying branches. Listen. A night bird calls once and fades. The world is utterly still. Do you hear the whispers? Not voices, not sounds, but feelings, echoes. The resonance of thousands of lives lived within these crimson walls. Eunuchs hurrying through corridors, concubines laughing behind silk fans, ministers fidgeting in the chill of the throne room, emperors, some wise, some weary, sitting in quiet thought, alone with the burden of rule. The forbidden city saw it all. Joys and betrayals, triumphs and failures. Love letters slipped beneath doors, secrets whispered beneath lantern light. The sound of footsteps during a sleepless night. Time does not erase these things. It layers them, softly, tenderly, like falling snow upon carved rooftops. And now, here you are, walking where they walked, breathing the same air, stepping over stones polished by centuries of silent tread. The forbidden city, once forbidden to all but a few, now opens itself to your imagination. Let its stillness enter your soul. Let the measured rhythm of its layout soothe your mind. Let the cool tones of jade, gold, and crimson lull you deeper into calm. We leave no footprints here, only reverence. The marble lions do not stir. The vermilion gates do not creak. The silence is whole, complete, undisturbed. And in this silence, you begin to feel it, a weight lifted. The cares of modern life dissolving like morning mist, your thoughts slowing, your breath deepening, as if you too belong to this world of painted beams and polished courtyards. As this chapter draws to a gentle close, allow yourself to settle. Let your eyes drift shut. Picture yourself lying beneath the carved rafters of a quiet pavilion, the moon glowing softly beyond a lattice screen. The world outside, all its worries and movement fades. Here inside the walls of the forbidden city, only stillness remains. With every breath, feel the centuries cradle you. With every sigh, let go a little more. You are safe. You are at peace. You are home in a dream of imperial majesty. Sleep now, and let history whisper you into the night. The sun has long since slipped beyond the horizon, and now the sky above Beijing is a soft wash of indigo and charcoal. A faint glow still lingers at the edge of the clouds, but within the walls of the forbidden city night has fallen completely. The courtyards are quiet, the lanterns are dimmed. The drums of the watchmen have stopped echoing through the gates. It is a time not often seen by the world, a time when the palace withdraws into itself, wrapped in a velvet hush. Let us enter now, gently, into this otherworldly silence. A night under the forbidden city's veil. It begins slowly, a cooling of the air, a lengthening of the shadows. The crimson walls, so radiant in daylight, now deepen into rich maroons and umbers. The gold-glazed tiles of the rooftops lose their brilliance, replaced by a soft shimmer beneath the moon. The sounds of daytime, the shouts of guards, the bustle of servants, the flutter of birds have all faded. In their place, a new soundscape emerges, subtle, lush with stillness. You hear it? The whisper of wind brushing across rooftop tiles, the gentle rustling of leaves in the palace gardens. Somewhere, the delicate chime of a bronze bell swings ever so slightly in the breeze. Each sound arrives like a lullaby, drawing your mind gently downward into rest. As you walk slowly across the stone path of the outer court, your steps echo softly in the night air. The stones are cool beneath your feet. The marble balustrades glow faintly in the moonlight. Your shadow stretches beside you, long and faint, a silent companion from another time. The walls rise high around you, enclosing the space in perfect symmetry. Every column, every roof edge, every carved beast upon the rooftops is cast in shadow and silver. This courtyard, once teeming with ministers and guards, now belongs only to the night. The vastness of it stretches like a dream, open and endless, and yet comforting. Familiar, as if you've been here before. You inhale. The air is crisp, touched by the scent of stone, cypress, and old wood. You exhale, and your breath becomes one with the night. To your left, the Hall of Central Harmony stands in silent repose. To your right, the Hall of Preserving Harmony slumbers as well. These buildings, which once held courtly audiences and grand banquets, now echo only with memory. Their interiors are dark, not with fear, but with peace. Darkness here is a veil of stillness, a reminder that all things return to quiet. You imagine stepping inside. The silk curtains sway lightly at the windows. The furniture, low lacquered tables, and carved screens is untouched. A single oil lamp flickers in a distant corner, its flame tiny, steady, casting long, gentle shadows that seem to nod in agreement with your presence. You walk slowly along the wooden floors, your fingertips grazing the aged grain of the panels. There is nothing to fear here, only history, watching you gently. Outside once more, the wind moves gently through the cypress trees. Their branches bow and sway like dancers, creating a soft rustling music that plays against the stone walls. You pause beneath one of them. It is tall, ancient. Its trunk twists like a scroll of poetry written by time itself. You rest your palm against the bark. It is cool, solid, alive. This tree has witnessed generations. It has swayed under the gaze of emperors and eunuchs, scholars and servants. And now it sways beside you, whispering no words, yet telling you everything. You feel grounded, steady, small, and yet eternal. Far in the distance, you hear it, the faint rhythm of a watchman's wooden clappers. Clack, clack, clack. The sound is rhythmic, slow, echoing gently through the corridors and courtyards. This is the final patrol of the night, a centuries-old ritual. The watchman carries a lantern swinging softly from his staff. Its glow is a warm orange against the cool night. He walks with care, head bowed in thought, checking locks, counting shadows, offering his presence like a guardian spirit of the palace. He does not see you, but you watch him with peace. His form fades behind a carved archway, and silence settles once more. You are alone again, not in isolation, but in sanctuary. Above you, the rooftops curve upward like waves frozen mid-surge. The ends are adorned with glazed beasts and sacred animals, guardians of imperial order. On the 9-dragon screen nearby, the sculpted creatures ripple and twist in the moonlight. The glazed blue and green tiles seem to shimmer with life, though no breath stirs them. The dragons, frozen in motion, look out into the night with expressions of power and serenity. You stand in front of them, feeling their energy, not wild or fierce, but protective, strong, old as time. The moonlight pools on the screen, and for a moment you feel the illusion of movement. As if the dragons nod gently in approval, you bow your head in return and move on. There's a corridor not far from here, narrow, framed with lattice wood panels and carved rafters. It runs along the edge of the Palace of Heavenly Purity, the private quarters of the Emperor. You walk its length slowly. The corridor is lined with hanging silk scrolls, some bearing faded calligraphy, others gentle landscapes in ink, waterfalls, pines, distant mountains. The wind passes through the corridor like a sigh. It rustles the scrolls, causing them to sway lightly, as if the paintings are breathing. You reach out, gently brushing the edge of one. Its fabric is smooth, worn by time, soft as the hush between heartbeats. Each step you take is deliberate, slow, almost musical. You are in rhythm with the palace now, with its quiet pulse, with its dream. We turn now toward the inner court, the sacred heart of the Forbidden City, where the Emperor lived, loved, and dreamed. Here, the spaces are more intimate. Smaller halls, private gardens, and sleeping quarters, all nested within carefully crafted courtyards. You pass beneath an open archway and into a moonlit square. Bamboo rustles gently along the sides. The stars above twinkle with quiet clarity. There are no lanterns here, only the natural light of heaven. In the center, a pond reflects the sky like a mirror. Koi fish move beneath its surface, just barely disturbing the reflection. One ripple, then another. You kneel beside it. The stones are smooth, worn by time and hand. You place your palm to the surface and feel the coolness, not just of the water, but of time itself flowing past. In a side chamber, you imagine the figure of a sleepless scholar. Perhaps a tutor once sat here, long after the Emperor and his family had gone to bed. By the flicker of candlelight, he wrote records in careful calligraphy. His brush moved steadily, pausing only for thought or for a sip of jasmine tea. Around him, silence. Only the faint sound of his sleeve brushing paper, the occasional creak of the floorboards, the subtle crackle of the oil lamp. He pauses, glancing at the window. Outside, the same moonlight you now walk beneath. He, too, was a quiet witness to this night, just like you. As the hour deepens, you pass by the pavilion of the rain of flowers, its silhouette delicate and domed. The wind carries a faint sound from somewhere deeper in the palace. A single distant bell, perhaps a ceremonial timekeeper marking the third watch of the night. Its tone is low, rich, lingering in the air like incense. The pavilion itself is covered in creeping vines. Its door is slightly ajar. You peer inside. Within is a small altar. A porcelain vase holds a single plum blossom branch. White petals lie gently on the floor. You step back and bow, not from obligation, but from instinct, respect, gratitude. You find a resting place, a quiet veranda beneath a set of painted eaves. The artwork above you is brilliant, even in the dimness. Phoenixes, clouds, celestial wheels turning slowly in divine symmetry. You lie back, letting the cool stone beneath you cradle your spine. Above you, the sky remains clear. A single cloud passes, brushing the stars. The rooftops frame the heavens like the border of a scroll. Your breath slows, matching the rhythm of the night. The Forbidden City is all around you, not as a place of power, but as a place of peace. It holds you gently, like it has held generations. You close your eyes now, still beneath the ancient beams. The cool air brushes your skin. The sounds, the wind, the rustling trees, the distant bell, continue their slow dance around you. You imagine the palace shrinking in the distance as you fall backward into sleep, not away from it, but deeper within it. Each courtyard becomes a memory, each shadow a lullaby, each ripple of water a soft drumbeat in your chest. Sleep now, in the arms of the forbidden city. Let it carry you. Let it keep you. Let it whisper to you across the centuries. In every shadowed corridor and behind every carved screen, a secret waited quietly. And now, in this quiet night, they begin to stir. Within the forbidden city, not all was ceremonial grandeur. Behind the silken veils and lacquered doors, life unfolded in delicate, sometimes invisible rhythms. Night, in its hush, is the time when stories come to the surface, like stars slowly emerging in a twilight sky. You are walking quietly through a narrow passage now, the lantern in your hand, casting a gentle amber glow against the walls. The wind picks up slightly, lifting the ends of crimson banners that hang like soft whispers from the eaves. The banners move as if someone had just passed through before you. And perhaps, in a way, someone has. Stories are waiting. Beneath the heavy crown and golden robes, every emperor was at heart a man. And like all men, some found comfort in quiet moments, alone in their private chambers when the court had gone silent and the stars burned above. The Yongle emperor, whose command gave rise to the very stones beneath your feet, was said to walk the gardens at night, his mind turning over the weight of conquest and creation. Under a moon like this, he may have stood by the lotus pond, watching his own reflection ripple in the water, wondering how history would remember him. The Kangxi Emperor, one of the most learned rulers of the Qing dynasty, once stayed up late reading Western books, maps, and instruments sent by Jesuit missionaries. He would pace slowly, hands folded behind his back, eyes squinting over mathematical charts and philosophical essays. Somewhere within the walls, he taught himself how to chart the stars. And then there was Qianlong, poetic, proud, and prolific. He left behind over 40,000 poems, many written late into the night by the flickering light of an oil lamp. Some perhaps remain tucked away in drawers within the forbidden city still, forgotten verses breathing in ink on rice paper. These were men of ritual, but also of longing, of joy, of silence. Their thoughts have soaked into these walls like scent into silk. Beyond the emperor's chambers, deeper into the inner palace, lived the women of the court, empresses, concubines, and attendants. Their lives were woven into the shadows, rarely seen, but deeply felt. Listen closely, and you might hear them. The empress sat in quiet authority within her own hall, often secluded, surrounded by attendants trained to move without sound. She wore robes heavy with embroidery, her headdress a forest of gold and pearls. But beneath that regalia was a woman, perhaps missing her family, perhaps dreaming of youth, perhaps resigned to the delicate maze of court life. The concubines, ranked by favor and proximity to the throne, moved like petals drifting across the stone courtyards. Some laughed behind silken fans, others wept in secret. Many composed poetry or played the guqin at dusk, their notes floating upward into the tiled rooftops like prayers unanswered. In one such chamber, late at night, you imagine a young woman lighting a small candle, sitting before a bronze mirror. She traces her reflection, not as the emperor sees her, but as she remembers herself before the palace walls closed in. Outside, the plum blossoms bloom unseen. Inside, she writes a letter she will never send. Her story remains here, unspoken but not forgotten. The soft sound of footsteps, padded, measured, and precise. That may be the echo of a palace eunuch, crossing a quiet courtyard with practiced speed. They were everywhere and nowhere. Essential, yet invisible. Eunuchs served the inner court, tended to the emperor, and guarded the women's quarters. Many had their own ambitions. Some held tremendous power, whispering into imperial ears, managing day-to-day matters of administration. But theirs was often a life of sacrifice, of lost identities, of loyalty mixed with loneliness. In the quiet hours, after duties were complete, one might sit in a side corridor and look toward the stars, wondering if anyone remembered his name beyond these walls. Even now, their presence is felt in the narrow stairways, the concealed rooms behind grand chambers, and the silent ritual of tending to others without ever speaking too loudly. Not all secrets were born from emotion. Some were made of ritual, encoded in ceremony, cloaked in symbolism. In the Hall of Supreme Harmony, elaborate ceremonies marked the new year, the emperor's birthday, or moments of celestial importance. But deeper inside, in quieter halls, more mysterious rites were held. The Night of the Golden Vessel, known only to the emperor and a select priest, was performed once a year to honor the spirits of ancestors. The emperor would walk alone into a candlelit room, carrying a single golden bowl filled with spring water. He would place it beneath an ancient painting, a family scroll, and whisper a name. No one knew what was said. No one ever asked. There were ceremonies of selection when new concubines entered the palace, chosen by ritual, judged by appearance, but always under the veil of decorum. Young women, barely 16, lined up in silence, their hands trembling within their sleeves. And there were moments of personal worship. The Empress Dowager Cixi, in her later years, kept a private shrine to Guanyan, the bodhisattva of compassion. She would rise before dawn to light incense, dressed in silks that caught the first rays of the sun as she bowed 3 times and murmured prayers none were meant to hear. These rituals, though long vanished, linger like smoke. Invisible, but unmistakable. In a place where hierarchy ruled and every gesture was watched, love was dangerous. And yet, it bloomed. A favored consort might capture the emperor's attention for weeks, drawing the envy of others and the worry of ministers who saw the empire's balance shift with every glance. Whispered stories tell of a certain concubine, her name long lost, who danced for the emperor beneath a moonlit pavilion. Her performance, graceful and hypnotic, won his affection and changed the course of her family's future. Others were less fortunate. A jealous rival might fabricate a rumor, and in a single night, a favored woman could be dismissed, sent to a silent wing of the palace where her laughter would never be heard again. And yet, some love endured. One empress kept a red-lacquered box of love poems sent by her husband in their youth. After his death, she read them every night, by candlelight, her lips moving silently across each familiar character. We can imagine her now, sitting on a silk cushion, the box in her lap, a single tear rolling down her cheek as she recalls a time when love was new. Even the architecture tells stories. In the palace of earthly tranquility, the tiles along the roof bear a secret symbol, a talisman once believed to protect the emperor's marriage. On a small beam near the Hall of Mental Cultivation, an inscription in faded ink reads, "In stillness there is strength." These were not public messages. These were quiet affirmations, whispers in wood, hopes etched into beams and bricks, carvings of dragons whose eyes seemed to follow you, clouds painted to suggest movement in stillness. The Forbidden City speaks, if you know how to listen. And as you walk slowly, your fingertips brushing the stone, you begin to understand that this palace was never truly silent. It murmured with emotion, with power, with restraint, with the secrets that kept an empire balanced and vulnerable. Some say the Forbidden City is haunted, not with terror, but with memory. Guards have reported the sound of silk rustling in empty halls. Some claim to have heard faint weeping in the chamber, once used by a banished concubine. Others say they saw shadows move in locked rooms, lanterns flicker without wind. But the truth is softer than ghost stories. What remains here are echoes, emotional imprints, the residual warmth of life lived with intensity. In every corridor, a presence. In every window, a face glimpsed and forgotten. You might feel it too. That sensation of being watched, not with fear, but with familiarity. Like someone long departed is glad you've come, glad you've listened. And so you pause beneath a moonlit archway, and you close your eyes, letting those echoes pass through you. As this chapter comes to rest, we remember, not all secrets are meant to be solved. Some are meant to be held, like pearls within a shell, like silence within a temple. Tonight, the Forbidden City has shared some of its stories with you. Not all, but enough. Enough to fill your dreams with silk robes and candlelit halls, moonlit corridors and unseen glances. Let them fade now, slowly, into your breath. The Emperor rests. The Empress dreams. The wind carries one final whisper past your cheek, like a goodnight kiss from a palace long gone. Sleep now, with the secrets of an empire curled gently beside you. In the heart of China, beneath golden tiles and crimson beams, a city remembers. Though the emperors have long departed, the palace still breathes, and with every breath it carries its story into the world. The Forbidden City was once the center of everything. To the people beyond its walls, it was the unreachable core of the empire, a place of mystery, of celestial order, of divine rule. The emperor lived within, seated as the son of heaven, the bridge between earth and the cosmos. His presence gave shape to the seasons. His rituals brought balance to heaven and humankind. But that age has passed. Dynasties fell. The dragon throne became a memory. And yet, the Forbidden City endures, not as a relic, not as a ghost, but as a legacy, a living reflection of China's heart, seen through stone and silence. The Qing dynasty, the last imperial family, ended in 1912. With it came the twilight of a world shaped by thousands of years of tradition. When the last emperor, Pui, was allowed to remain in the Forbidden City after his abdication, he lived not as ruler, but as a quiet presence. The rituals faded. The guards dispersed, and yet the building stood still. The wind still passed beneath the palace eaves. The carved dragons still kept watch. Eventually, even Pui was expelled. The palace, once so forbidden, stood empty. For a moment, the silence of history became real. The Forbidden City could have fallen into ruin, forgotten in the rush of modernity. But it didn't. Something deeper held it in place. In 1925, the Forbidden City was reborn, not as a royal palace, but as the Palace Museum. Gates that once opened only for nobles and officials now open for scholars, travelers, artists, and dreamers. The halls once filled with ministers were now filled with light. Rooms that had kept their secrets behind silk curtains now offered glimpses into an empire's soul. Imagine walking through those rooms today. The scent of aged wood, the quiet presence of ancient scrolls, the gleam of jade carvings beneath soft lighting. Display cases holding hairpins worn by empresses, robes embroidered with dragons, calligraphy brushed by emperors' hands. Each item speaks, not in grandeur, but in grace. They tell you, this was real. We were here. In 1987, the Forbidden City was named a UNESCO World Heritage Site, recognized as the largest collection of preserved wooden structures in the world. But more than that, it became a symbol of endurance. Across war and revolution, across modern transformation and urban expansion, the Forbidden City remains not untouched, but unbroken. Each stone has weathered time, each painted beam lovingly restored. And the people who walk its paths today come not to bow before an emperor, but to breathe the past, to feel the weight of beauty, of craftsmanship, of meaning. School children run their fingers along carved dragons. Elderly couples sit beneath the shade of cypress trees, sharing quiet stories. Visitors from across the world walk its length, hushed and wide-eyed. It has become a mirror, not just for China, but for humanity. A legacy must be cared for. The restoration of the Forbidden City has been a labor of devotion. Craftsmen, trained in traditional methods, apply gold leaf by hand, mix pigments from ancient recipes, carve lattice windows from wood harvested with reverence. In workshops hidden just beyond the public paths, artisans replicate silk drapes once found in the emperor's chambers. They study ancient pigments, restoring murals where tigers leap and phoenixes soar. They work slowly, silently, with the patience of the past. Each repaired tile is not just a task completed, but a prayer offered. The Forbidden City is not only a museum, it is a rhythm, a reference, a part of the collective breath of China. It appears in poetry, in painting, in song. Its image is etched into stamps, currency, and porcelain. It lives in literature, where characters stroll beneath its moonlit gardens. It echoes in films, where shadows pass over red walls and wind stirs silken robes. Even those who have never walked its courtyards know its outline. It is an idea, a dream, a home that belongs to the imagination. What has the Forbidden City taught us? Perhaps that harmony matters. That space, when created with care and meaning, can hold a soul. Its layout reflects the ideal order of the universe, the balance between yin and yang, between the visible and the veiled. The positioning of gates, the shape of courtyards, the alignment of doors, all are designed to bring peace, stability, and reflection. Walking through its paths teaches slowness, teaches attention. You learn to notice the way morning light touches the golden tiles, the way one stone step is worn smoother than the others, the way silence speaks louder than ceremony. The Forbidden City teaches us that history does not always shout. Sometimes it whispers, and in those whispers we understand. People from all corners of the world travel to see the Forbidden City, drawn not just by its splendor, but by its stillness. Here, they find something that transcends borders, a moment of quiet, a meeting with time, A reminder that empires may rise and fall, but beauty, true beauty, remains. You see them, walking the paths in respectful silence, listening to the echo of footsteps long gone, letting the past wrap around them like incense smoke. And when they leave, they carry something with them, not a souvenir, but a sensation, a sense of having touched something sacred. Today, technology allows even those far away to visit the Forbidden City. Virtual tours glide through chambers never open to the public. 3D scans preserve every inch of painted ceiling and weathered tile. Augmented reality restores color to faded murals, letting viewers see them as they once were. It is a meeting of past and future. And through this meeting, the Forbidden City becomes more than preserved. It becomes alive again. A place you can visit in your dreams. A story you can hear even with your eyes closed. Even now, long after the emperors have passed, the Forbidden City influences architecture across Asia and beyond. Its symmetry, its use of natural elements, the way its spaces invite both reverence and rest. Modern buildings draw inspiration from its courtyards. City planners study its layout. Designers incorporate its colors, its motifs, its quiet elegance. It is not a place frozen in ember, but a living current, flowing forward. A seed planted long ago, still blooming. Above all, the Forbidden City offers something rare, a stillness for the soul. In a world of noise and haste, it reminds us of slowness, of ritual, of the grace found in each step, each glance, each breath. To walk its length is to walk within a poem. To rest beneath its eaves is to be wrapped in a lullaby of stone and sky. Its legacy is not just history. Its legacy is rest, reflection, renewal. As this chapter nears its end, imagine standing once more at the center of the palace grounds. The same moon that once shone down on the emperors now lights your face. The same stars, the same wind, the same quiet. You are part of its legacy now, a listener, a dreamer, a keeper of whispers. And somewhere, beyond time, the palace sees you, welcomes you, remembers you. Sleep now beneath its gaze. Let its peace linger in your breath. Let its stillness fold gently over your body. And as your dreams begin to rise, know that you are walking not away from history, but deeper into it. The Forbidden City remains, and so do you. The night has deepened, and so has your breath. You've walked long corridors of jade and gold. You've passed under ancient archways, lingered in silent gardens, and listened to the hidden stories of emperors and empresses, long since returned to the stars. Now, the halls are darker still. The lanterns have burned low. The city is quiet, perfectly quiet. You find yourself in one last courtyard, its stones warm from the day's sun, now cooled by the breath of the moon. Cypress trees rustle softly nearby, and the sky above is wide, eternal, filled with stars that once shone upon royal eyes. You lie down here, beneath the painted beams of a covered walkway. Your head rests gently on a folded robe. The scent of sandalwood clings to the air. The eaves above you are carved with phoenixes and clouds, and they watch over you like old friends. No footsteps come. No voices call. There is only the sound of wind and time, whispering. Sleep comes now, not quickly, not suddenly, but like the slow drift of a silk curtain, like the fall of a single leaf into still water, like the hush of a palace that has waited centuries to be still again. The Forbidden City cradles you, and in that cradle You are timeless. You are weightless. You are safe. The stories fade. The stones grow soft. Even the dragons close their eyes. Sleep now. Dream of ancient towers and moonlit bridges, of silk robes and gentle voices, of gardens that never end. Let the forbidden city carry you through the night and hold you gently until morning light.